Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Mondays with Moss. So, what are we, 9 months into the pandemic? You know, you can get pregnant, have a baby by this time. It's going on and on and on. I think this past week we may have had almost 1 million people in America coming down with the infection, the COVID. So it's pretty scary times for most people. You know, I've been thinking about it myself in terms of Thanksgiving. I want to get together with my family, my daughters and grandkids. They want to get together with me, but we're thinking about, doesn't make sense, you know? So how do you assess? How do you figure out what to do? So what I've been doing over the last 4 or 5 months is attempting to give you a perspective on how people go through life. Are you a victim? Are you a survivor? Are you a navigator? And what are some tools you can use to navigate a great life? So some of the tools we've been using, thinking about, are self-awareness. What are your strengths, your weaknesses? What are you good at? How do you feel? What are you thinking? Becoming aware, because nothing really happens unless you're aware. We looked at self-control. How do you take control of your anger and your fear so your anger and fear don't control you? Things don't happen very much if you get flooded with anger or fear. Your thinking brain just shuts down. We looked at resiliency, the ability to bounce back, keep getting up, having a focus, a North Star or a GPS to guide you in what direction to go in. And lately we've looked at a results orientation, keeping your eye on the ball. So a toolkit basically is a set of resources and actions that you can take on a daily basis to gain or regain a sense of control and security in your life. Well, today I got a good one for you. Although we're pulling some of these tools together to take a look at taking charge, just taking charge and taking personal responsibility for everything that goes on in your life. So it's not just about the COVID, but it's about everything. I mean, sooner or later, the COVID is going to be over. We'll get the vaccine. We'll develop some way of surviving and getting on with our lives. It'd be nice to know that you did some growth and some learning during this time to be prepared and not go into PTSD or a shutdown and feel like you've lost ground. So I got some questions for you. Are you a take charge kind of person, or do you wait and hope for someone else to take care of something? For example, it could be something as simple as, do you make the bed, or do you wait for your spouse or partner to make the bed? Do you get up and make breakfast? Same thing. Do you take your car for the car wash, or think someone else is going to do it? Do you make that call to the bill collector when a bill's not been paid, or call the bank, or do you wait for your spouse to do it? Does taking responsibility charge you up or scare you? For example, speaking up in class. A lot of people have fear of public speaking, even raising their hand and speaking up in class, even though they know the students and the teacher. Sometimes expressing your opinion in a business meeting. What will other people think? If anyone else isn't expressing their opinion, am I going to be the first? And what if it goes against what the manager or the leader is thinking? You know, is it hard to make a mistake, or are you a blamer? Can you admit that you make a mistake? For many people, it's difficult to take charge, be personally responsible, and just do what they want to do. So it all comes back to, what do you want, and can you take charge and make it happen? Can you, for example, if you're dating, ask a girl out, or even talk to someone who you're attracted to? Do you have the courage and the ability to ask for a raise? Can you be the first person speaking up in a group? Can you clean the house? It's all about taking charge. Can you take charge of your body, exercise, and eat right? Let's look at a person I spoke to you about not too long ago. I had a teenager, an 18-year-old who really had a lot of a social anxiety, particularly about talking with girls. Maybe you remember him. Let's call him Ben. Okay, so he's a good-looking guy, smart, athletic, struggled with social anxiety, thinks he had nothing to say. He thought he was stupid. And our conversations together on Zoom like this or on FaceTime, he did fine. So he had the capacity, but he thought he had nothing to say. He had a limiting belief. I have nothing to say. He was fearful of looking stupid and having disapproval. He avoided. He just didn't talk. He went to a group, class, or a party, and he just sat by himself and hung out with the guys. The advantage of him doing that was he temporarily felt good, but later it did increase. It increased his underlying fear of anxiety. So that's how fear grows. Fear is like a parasite. By avoiding taking charge and doing something, it gets more of a powerful hold on you. He did not take charge of what he wanted. Okay. He believed basically he wasn't worthy. This was underneath the fear. He wasn't worthy. Didn't deserve to be happy. Isn't that interesting? He didn't deserve to be happy. He wasn't aware of it. But the self-awareness exercise I did with him got him to see that. He ruminated and daydreamed. He ruminated about how lonely he was and sad he was. And he daydreamed about having a girlfriend. Now what's the result of that? Frustration, self-disgust, disempowerment. Now maybe you can relate to this, because maybe there's some areas where in your life where you're not taking charge and you're avoiding. Okay? Would you like to know what happened, how he's doing? I'll tell you about that in a minute. But before I do that, I want to explore something with you, which is why we shy away and avoid taking life on, avoid taking charge. Well, an obvious reason is we're afraid of failure and disapproval and not looking good. Many times we're confused. We just don't know what to do, and we think we have to know the answer before we raise our hand or take a chance. We don't have a growth mindset. We have what's called a performance mindset. I got to do it right. If I don't know what to do, I'm not going to participate. You may have a lack of focus. You may not have a North Star or a GPS to guide you. I'm going in that direction. Nothing's going to stop me. You may have emotional hijacking, which is where your fear overtakes you and you shut down and you just don't participate. Something else that may stop you is a lack of confidence. If you avoid enough times, you eventually say, I can't do it. That's a limiting belief, by the way. I can't do it. Other people can do it. It's too hard for me. And you may even get to the point of despair and say, what's the point? Nothing's going to really change. So let's take a look at how my young patient Ben is doing. Okay? Good news. He's talking to girls. He's focusing on what he wants in life in terms of what college he's going to go to. And he has a new belief. He's given up. He's not worthy and not good enough. He now thinks, hey, I'm worthy and I am good enough. He's cleared things up with his dad. A lot of his negative beliefs came from his dad, who was pretty authoritarian and negative. And in order to try to get his son to be really good was just very critical. The dad didn't really realize it was squashing the kid's spirit. But the son asked him, like, Dad, why did you do this? Why are you so hard on me? And the dad said, I didn't know any better. That's what I learned from my mom. I was doing my best to make you the best possible. It wasn't because I thought you were stupid or anything. I just didn't know what else to do. Okay, pretty courageous to do that, don't you think? He stopped being a victim and he moved into being more of a navigator. So some of the techniques we did to move him in that direction was we increased self-awareness about his fear. We did some belief change. We moved from I can't or I'm not good enough, I don't deserve to be happy, to I do deserve to be happy. We managed his fear, really dropped his fear on a scale of 1 to 10, dropped it from an 8 down to a 2. We did the Be a Wizard. Be a wizard. Imagine a time when you were strong and powerful. Feel that in your body. Now imagine doing that with what you want to do. We got him to be focused on what he wanted, what was his North Star, as I said before. We did something called Attack the Dog. See the fear? Go after it. If that's what you want to date, well, go after it. Attack the fear. Not attack the girl. Attack the fear. And slay the paper tiger. Take action and see, does something really bad happen? Sometimes you need the courage just to do it. So here's what you can do to gain control and take charge. You know, if you have an ant crawling up your nose, what do? Do you watch it? Or do you get rid of it? If you have an ant on your hand, do you watch it? Or do you slap it away or blow it away? So ants in psychology are called automatic negative thoughts. These thoughts just pop up in our heads. We're wired to be negative, unfortunately. For example, what if I fail? What if she doesn't like me? What if I ask the boss for a raise and he turns me down? What if I raise my hand, I don't know the right answer? limiting belief like I have to be perfect. I have to be perfect. If I don't know exactly what to do, I'm not going to take a risk. I'm not good enough. I don't know enough. Another limiting belief is it would be terrible if I failed, instead of what the hell? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? So sometimes you need to create a new belief. I deserve to be happy. I have my fears. I'm going to do it anyway. I learned from my mistakes. These are new beliefs that we can actually rewire the brain with practice. It'll take about a month, maybe longer, but you can learn, and then you need to take practice. And here's an interesting thing you can do. You can ask yourself, what's the probability of something bad happening? What's the probability? If you did ask your boss for a raise, if you did raise your hand, if you did ask a girl out for a date or spoke up or asserted yourself, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Are you going to get punched? Are you going to get ridiculed? Are people going to laugh at you? Or maybe it's just no. Okay? And what's the impact if that's what happened? What's the impact? It's just two good questions. What's the probability of something bad happening? And what's the impact? And by the way, you can take small steps, one baby step at a time. Or you can use my Navigating for Success formula in the toolkit. Remember the formula? Success equals passion. What do you care about? What's important to you? Set some goals. Take action. And then be resilient. Bounce back. And see what happens. And keep doing that over and over again. Success equals passion plus goals plus action plus being resilient. So you need to ask yourself what's important, set the goal, figure the action. Take a small step. Doesn't have to be a big one. You can do one day at a time to build your habit strength. You know, if you worked on one thing and you improve by 1% a day, at the end of the year, at the end of 365 days, you would have improved by over 365%. Isn't that astounding? 1% a day improvement. Okay? I have a client who I'm working with who is a terrible listener, and he's really killed his relationships. They've been married 3 times, so on his 4th marriage now, and he's a terrible listener, and the women feel like all he does is talk and dominate. Now, he's realized he had a fear of domination and women dominating because he had an aggressive, pretty abusive mother, so he had PTSD. So he figured he would not let any woman get anything over on him. So once he realized the belief, and we changed the belief to he's lovable and he's capable of being in a relationship, he started to learn how to listen. So his action step is, I'm just listening. Before I open my mouth, I say, tell me about what your point of view is. Tell me more about that. Oh, so you're thinking. So as a way, and he actually is feeling now he has more control rather than being dominant. At the end of the day, when you take action, you can ask yourself, did you follow through with your intention? Did you actually do anything? Did you do what you said? That's called taking personal responsibility, being personal accountable. You may want to keep a success log and just track, did I do it or not do it? It's like a batting average. I said I'm going to do it. It's like getting up at bat, swinging at the ball. Did I not swing? Did I run away or avoid? Or did I do it? Okay? You can also just choose not to be a victim. Just choose it. Decide it's time to be a force in your life, regardless of your fears, ruminations, and weaknesses. I mean, look, how old are you? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Life is going to pass by very quickly. Stop waiting for something to happen. And here are some other tools you can use from the Navigating Toolkit. Have courage. Take action even though you're afraid. Be resilient. So what if you failed and made a mistake? So what if you got rejected? It's not a big deal, really. It's a paper tiger. It's not going to hurt you in the long run. Have a growth mindset. Learn from your experience. Know what you want. Declare this is what I want, and let people know what you want so they can support you. Have a results orientation. I'm going to produce something this week, and hopefully be realistically optimistic. It may not turn out great. May have to have some grit today and work hard, but in the long run, it's going to work out. Now, why do it? Why take charge and be personally responsible? Well, number one, it moves you towards your goal. You want to have the best power, personal power, take action and take responsibility. It feels good to take action. I mean, can't you remember a time when you were afraid to do something, but you did it anyway, and you felt like, wow, you took a deep breath and feel good. It allows you to kill the paper tigers. Most of the worries we have in our head are paper tigers, not real tigers. So when you do it, you find out, as Mark Twain said, 99% of the things you ever worried about never came to be true. See, so kill those paper tigers. Build courage and develop a can-do attitude. It's great to have courage. So when you're scared, you say, look, I can do this. It may not turn out great, but what the hell? I've done things before. Definitely, when you take action and take charge of your life, it decreases fear and worry. It decreases fear and worry. Action is the best antidote to anxiety. It also builds a sense of control and safety in an uncertain world. And right now, we're in an uncertain world. So if you want to feel more certain and safe, take charge and do something. And it increases trust because people feel that you're more trustworthy, that you're going to do what you said, that you can be counted on. You don't hide out and wait for someone else. So bottom line, we are definitely living right now in a difficult time, but you don't have to be terrified. You can have your fear and do it anyway. Take charge of your life and start figuring out some actions you can take to enhance your accomplishments and your satisfaction. Put on that mask and get out and socialize a bit. Yeah, keep social distance, do the sanitizer, but get out there and don't hide out. I have a number of clients who I'm seeing are terrified, and they don't have to be terrified. They could be fearful, but if they took appropriate action, they would be fine. They're not taking charge yet, so I'm trying to help them take charge and figure out a small step. Don't put yourself in dangerous situations. That's obvious. For example, if someone invites you to go to a large group activity, political event, a party, a dinner, and I would suggest don't do it. Take personal responsibility, take charge, say no. If it's small, outdoors, or people you know who are taking care of themselves, fine, okay? Get courage, say no to social pressure. We all want the vaccine, we all want the magic formula, the magic pill, but that won't be enough, not if you want to live a great life. So decide what's important. Perhaps use the Navigating for Success formula and my toolkit to gain control of your life. And I suggest this week, you set an intention each day. Like today I'm going to be generous, or I'm going to be courageous, or I'm going to be self-expressed. I'm going to listen. And then take some actions and actually do it. Like my patient I was talking about, the guy's been married 4 times now. You know, practice listening, see if he's done it. I got to tell you, when I talked to him on the phone and he's done it, he is so proud of himself. It's like a little kid coming home with a picture saying, look, Daddy, look, Mommy, look what I did. So set an intention. It doesn't have to be big. Remember, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. So, everybody, here we go. We're moving to handle life. We're moving from being victims to being survivors, being fighters, to being navigators, having a sense of direction, learning the tools, using the tools. You can always go back and look at any of the videos. Many of these videos, my assistant is transcribing them, so she's summarizing them for me. Read my book if you like. And anyway, I hope you tune in again next Monday. Not sure what I'm going to talk about next Monday, but I'll give it some thought. I'll let you know on Wednesday. Okay? Until then, stay warm and navigate and take charge.